My boyfriend feels less attractive because he's dating me. My boyfriend is bi and I asked him if dating men and women had any big differences because I was curious, and his answer is really messing with my head. He said, relationships with men were usually easier, smoother sailing. And I could be roughhouse a lot harder or we would fight for fun and it would hurt but it was moodle. And men made me feel more attractive. I then asked if I was an outlier in his experience dating women, and he said, for the most part yeah. I think women who make guys feel sexually desired the way guys do are kinda rare, so you're what I expected in that aspect. That made me ask if I made him feel sexually desired the way guys do and he said no. When I asked what men do differently and he said, I mean it's hard to explain, but they express their sexual attraction a lot more, both in and outside of the bedroom. Like during sex they do things, they enjoy your body and it's not really like that with women, and guys compliment and initiate sex more. I asked him if he missed that and he said, yeah I miss that desired feeling but I'm happy with you, and like I said I didn't expect it when I dated women. Now I just feel bad. I feel like I'm not making him as happy as he could be because he feels less desired, attractive. Part of me is upset with him because if he didn't care he didn't even have to say it, and the other part just feels like I'm not the best person he's dated, which really sucks. I think it's because men tend to be very physically motivated. I would just read up on the different love languages. Boyfriend seems to want to be physically doted on, have his body cherished, and hounded after. The other part just feels like I'm not the best person he's dated, which really sucks. He didn't say that, so if you choose to believe this, just realize it's your own story, not his. No one ever gets everything they want in one person. We make compromises to be the most fulfilled we can in a relationship. You don't have this one thing, but you probably have plenty of others. Trust that he is with you because he wants to be with you. And, if you want to make him feel more desired, that's a pretty easy fix. Be thankful that he was honest and open with how he feels. Now that you know, you can do more. You asked the question and got an honest answer. It sounds like what you wanted was for him to tell you you were the best thing ever from both genders and that there isn't anyone or anything like you. And while that's cute and would be romantic, it isn't realistic. And that isn't his fault. He did say how he's happy with you, and by his honesty in this conversation it doesn't seem like he would stay unless he meant it. I understand how his answer may not feel great, but you did ask first. No, you can't make him feel the way a guy does, and that's because, at risk of stating the obvious, you're not one. And that's not a bad thing, he's with you now and that's what should matter. He's saying he wants you to initiate sex more and express your sexual attraction to him more. You asked, he answered. You are turning this on its head. It's not like he feels you aren't good enough. It's that he feels like you don't think he is. He likes you, he just feels insecure. Try to make him feel desired. Do you know how? As a bi woman I have to say that I feel the same way about sex with another woman, versus a man. When I have sex with women we thoroughly enjoy each other, appreciate each other's bodies, speak positively to each other and have a wonderful time. When I sleep with a man it's just different. Not better, not worse, just different. With men, yes I miss the desire that women have for me, but again, it's just different. I love having sex with men and women but for different reasons. It's not the same, and it will never be the same, but they're both equally satisfying, if that makes sense. I hope this helps a bit. As a gay guy don't think you should feel shitty as men communicate our needs and desires differently to ourselves, and while I can understand why you would feel shitty. Men do things to each other we can relate to needing and wanting, and women can understand the same thing they want or desire to each other. Now is the best time to communicate and try new things with each other. Sometimes when he goes out with men he feels like he's the one being chased, and he misses that. Compliment him more, initiate sex. But also point out to him that you are showing your attraction to him in different ways than men do. There are more ways to make someone feel desired. He recognizes and responds to the ways he, as a man, uses himself. Educate each other on different love languages. There are probably things you do for him because those things would make you feel more cherished if he did them. This conversation could be a mutual learning experience. My boyfriend, 21M, of 1 year wants me, 19F, to keep paying rent. My boyfriend and I have been living together 1 year. At first we were living in a small 2-bedroom apartment where rent was $900 and I would pay $600 and he'd pay the rest utilities and groceries. We have moved into a house that is $1,500 now and I have been paying $900 while he covers the rest and pays utilities and other stuff. His grandparents have offered to start paying for our rent due to the fact we're both going to be in college. He was making around $4,000 to $5,000 a month before, but now I believe only $1,000. Now that his grandparents will be paying for our rent, he want me to keep paying $900 because he says it's not even half of what he spends for us and that I need to pull my own weight. $900 will cover utilities and subscriptions and the $400 to $500 we spend each month on rent. I was confused on to what he would be paying to make that an even split between us, and he just keeps saying he spends much more than that each month on us and he has bought most of the stuff for the house, but I have always put down however much he has asked of me for things we have bought. I just don't want to be seen as just a roommate. He told me when I brought up paying less than $900 that I was being a bad roommate and girlfriend. I don't know, I may be in the wrong here, I just want to hear your opinions. Make him sit down and write out an itemized budget for all the costs in your relationship. If he is honest, and cares about you, it should be no big deal. I'm worried he is trying to take advantage. If he is just trying to get your money, that's grounds for leaving. Emo. I think financial responsibility should be an even split, if possible, if that's how things have been before. But if he wants to suddenly take more from you than he is putting in, it's a red flag. Lots of numbers, but some are missing. What is the total costs including all utils and food etc.? What I'm looking for is every month's joint costs come to XXX. 900 out of 1500 is obviously unfair, but if you're paying 900 and the total is 2500 all in, you're the one being supported. What was he making $60K a year gross doing? That he stopped and is now going to college at 21? You're so young, I would advise you to dorm and not live with a guy so early on. Good luck XO. Actually split expenses. This ballparking and guessing is crap. Say, hey babe, let's do a finance day where we look at all that we both spend, our bills, and our income and make a plan that works for both of us together. No judgment from either side. You're coming at this like I pay this you pay that, not working as a team. The numbers were a bit strange, but I do believe he has been paying more for the household in both of the previous situations. First-time budgeters really underestimate how much food is in a budget. Also, it's one of the only line items where it hardly matters if you go over, you still need to eat. His solution of you pay this no questions asked is obviously inappropriate. Going into college, things are going to get financially rough. Set up a good foundation now or this will continue to be a fight that breaks you up. You've been dating for a year and he cheated on you 3 months into that. You sorta hinted he was a drug dealer before getting into college and your gut is telling you that the money situation is unfair and he's gaslighting you by calling you a bad girlfriend for not just forking the cash over. I'm gonna just suggest walking from the money sketchy cheating drug dealing boyfriend. You're going to be 20 soon, and the further you get into adulthood surrounding yourself with these adult children, the harder the real world is going to be. There's a simple solution. Get your own place, pay your own bills. I need help. My parents came to visit me for Thanksgiving, and today we went out to shops and stuff. A little while later my dad wants to go to Lulu's. My boyfriend saw that I was there and flipped out, said that he was the one who wanted to take me there and that I knew that. I told him my dad picked the restaurant, I had no say in where to eat. I told my boyfriend that and he said, "Stop talking to me. Go." Then I checked what he said again and he said, "Everything you do pisses me off," and then he unadded me on Snap and I live with him. Did he just kick me out? Did he dump me? I'm on my way back to the apartment and IDK, what to expect? Thoughts? You just got dumped because of where your dad took you to eat. Take a minute to process how dumb that is. He just made you a big ass favor. Why would anyone want to be with that man-child? Please listen to me. I was married to a guy like this. You're being abused. Keep your debit card. Do not stay alone with him in the apartment. He will do something. It may not be physical violence, but he is losing his control on you, and to him that just can't happen. He will take your things away. Debit card, car keys, phone. Anything to hinder you leaving. You need to sleep on the floor of the hotel. You need to get out now. I cannot stress this enough. Please, for the love of God, don't look back. Leave. Even if he gets over this, it'll just happen again, and again. If he snaps like that with no logic behind it, it very may well end in domestic abuse. Please leave this pos right now and move back in with your family. He sounds like a total asshole, and if I were your dad I'd make sure he knew that you were the most important thing in my world. If he didn't understand that hint, then he's not good enough, not intelligent enough, and not man enough, for you. You do not deserve to be treated like that. At all. Your boyfriend sounds completely insane. Who's on the lease? Glad your parents are in town. He is an immature brat. Expect anything, he's making a tantrum. Find a husband material guy please. So your abuser just did you a favor. Get your parents to help you get your stuff and get away from him. You sound young. Take it from a guy in his 40s. Get away from this nut job. This is not normal at all. It will not get any better. Nobody should put up with this childish behavior. Am I selfish for wanting child support? My ex-significant other and I broke up and he only has 1 day off of work, and since we won't be living together and he's dating other people, he won't really be that involved. He got really angry when I mentioned child support because he says it's rigged for moms to win and pluck men of their hard-earned money. But I feel like it's unfair that my life will change entirely to cater to my beloved son, while his won't change at all? He says I am the one who wanted the baby, so I should just suffer pretty much. Or he could one day up and leave and not help at all, so going to court will keep him around in my opinion, although I know sometimes things happen. Am I being unfair for wanting to establish child support in court? He has a high-paying job, so I know I will get a lot, but I am not one of those people who will just spend it on whatever. It's for my baby boy. I could save that money and it could go towards his college. Honestly, I felt this guilt at first too. My ex gives the bare minimum and misses his payments for the most part. Owes me thousands of dollars at this point. I felt bad taking him to court, but will be doing so soon. I'm independent and self-sufficient, but my lawyer reminded me that even if I don't need it, it will benefit our child in the future. I started to feel resentment when I was the only one paying for her preschool, extracurricular activities, medical bills, etc. Everything adds up. Childcare itself can run up to $2,000 per month depending on where you live. He helped create your child, so he owes you the support. Your child is owed support from their father. It's your responsibility to make sure your child gets everything they're entitled to. Absolutely. He is the father. He has a financial responsibility to that child, for food, clothes, education, etc. He would have been financially supporting the child when you were a couple. That responsibility doesn't end because you are no longer a couple. My ex didn't pay child support for my oldest too, and I regret not pursuing him for it. He has been paying for the last 6 years, which meant our youngest child could go to a private high school, graduating in 2022, go away to play representative sport, netball, to places like Sydney Olympic Stadium and take art classes. She has won a few art awards now. My oldest too missed out on so many opportunities because I couldn't financially afford it on my own. You make sure that little baby boy of yours has every opportunity available to him. Biceps. Get a lawyer. Child support is for the survival of the kid he chose to make with you. It's not some scam to hurt men. What? Child support is determined by the courts because to support the child. Rent, food, utilities all support the child. Your ex needs to pay his share. His attitude sucks and it's going to be ugly but too bad, so sad. He needs to pay for his child. If the moms were getting a great deal from the courts, deadbeat dads wouldn't be a thing and single motherhood wouldn't be an almost guarantee of poverty. Get the court-mandated child support, don't let him talk you into providing less for his child. I am a paying father and can tell you that you are 100% not being selfish. The money is owed to your child, of which you are the custodian of those funds. Your child deserves to benefit every day of their young life from their father's success, and it is his obligation to pay whatever sum is legally determined by your local court. Do your best to be independent, but do not for 1 second feel selfish for enforcing those obligations on your child's father. Be fair. Follow the law. Keep things civil and focus on the well-being of your child. You don't have to be friends with your ex, but you don't have to feel like you have to be enemies either. Your kid deserves what they're owed. Be a good steward and best of luck. If he want co-parent, then child support it is.